Hello, welcome to Karma's a Stitch. I'm Tonya. This is going to be the final installment of a WIP Roundup. With that being said, I have tried to keep all of these installments about 10 minutes, and I can guarantee you that this one's going to be a little bit longer because I'm going to address a couple of things that have come up throughout this Roundup. The first thing being, and I have a list here, so if I look down, please forgive. The first thing is this little girl. I'll get her so you can meet her. So this is Lily. Lily is Cinder's little sister. And we, if you've been here for about a year or so, you'll know that my family has been going through some changes, and we have a 7-year-old, and Alex was having some pretty big issues with the transitions, and so we got her a little puppy, and she named her Lilybug. Lily just turned a year old, and she has been absolutely perfect for our family. She loves to cuddle. She loves to be around us. You've been able to see her playing with Cinder. She'll take her toy and drop it and then just wait expectingly for Cinder to pick it up. And they get along really, really well. Cinder has been incredibly patient. But there's a significant size difference between the two. And so I don't let Lily play on the floor with Cinder because Cinder really does want to play. And all it would take would be a quick, just the wrong kind of pounce, and Lily would be hurt. And so they play with Lily up on a higher surface, and Cinder does amazing with her. So she has been great for Alex. She sleeps with Alex. She falls asleep with Alex, but she is still a puppy, so she sleeps the rest of the night in the bed or in her kennel once Alex is asleep. So I had lots of people asking about Lily, and Lily is working really hard on being a good knitting companion. Like, I'll sit in my recliner and Lily will relax and just sit in the lap and watch and sleep a lot. But she has been the topic of several comments, and so I wanted to make sure everybody got a chance to meet her. So yes, this is Lily. Say bye, guys. Say bye, guys. And like I said, she's about a year old. The next thing on my list is Anthony. And as recently as tonight, I had someone ask me, so Anthony hasn't been around. Is he okay? Is everything all right? And you guys, everything is great. I have a lifestyle that involves a lot of knitting. But Anthony is a 29-year-old man, and he's got other priorities in life. And when he doesn't knit for a period of time, I want it to be something that always is an enjoyment for him and not something he feels he has to do. And so he's just taken a break from knitting, and it's not going to be a forever break. He's just got other things that he's focused on right now, and he's excited about those things. And so everything is just fine though. He's very much here and doing really well. He's excited about Vlogmas. He's excited about his Advent. So yes, he's doing really well, and I appreciate folks asking about him. And I know he appreciates it too. So I do have 2 projects today that I'm not going to show you, and 1 WIP that I am going to show you. The first 2 I'm going to talk about. The first one is one that I'm designing. It's some ball cozies. I've got 3 different sizes. I'm almost done with the 3rd and final size, and then I'll have that pattern out, and I'll share that probably later in December if you guys are interested, because they would be great gift or stocking stuffers. The second one, I have kind of ventured, I don't want to say ventured, I've brought up that I had a project that I wasn't too sure if I was going to do an installment over. And I've kind of gone back and forth with it, and I've decided I'm not going to share it, mainly because I love this hobby. I love this craft, and I love this community so much. And I wasn't sure if I could talk about this particular project without getting emotional and navigating what I had to say about it in the most appropriate way. And that would be the Stephen West MCAL this year. And I have no doubt in my mind that if you are watching this, you have heard it discussed on multiple other platforms. So okay. With that being said, with saying that it is the Stephen West MCAL, I was just editing. This is future Tonya. I was just editing this installment and just watching myself record it. I was like, made the right decision not to make an installment because I was so uncomfortable worrying about what I was saying or not saying or what people were going to think or not think. And so I'm not going to share my project, and that's mainly because I am so crazy about this community, you guys. You've heard me say that, and I truly do love this community. And so Stephen West put out a really heartfelt, very genuine message, and he was just so kind and compassionate, and I made a decision that day when I watched that video, and it was Stephen West. Could you really expect anything less from him? I mean, yes. So he put out that video. A lot of people made decisions that day, and he took that opportunity to let other people shine and say, you know, this person has developed this clue, and this person has developed this clue, and please, you know, go do something. And even he stepped out of his comfort zone and learned to crochet. And I mean, it was such it could have been such an amazing thing, no matter what side of that controversy anybody was on. It could have been, but I went to other places, and I saw other comments, and I saw other people in this community that, regardless of whatever the topic, whatever the controversy, whatever the issue, just seeing how nasty and mean, and I personally struggled, and I'm not an emotional person, and I'm not a person that, I mean, it usually just rolls right off my back. Like I'm pretty indifferent to a lot of things like that. And this particular, I don't know if it's because I have so much excitement about the MCAL every year, that just seeing the nastiness and the hurt, it really did take a pretty significant toll on me just reading it, to the point where it's like, well, Tonya, stop reading it. I did stop reading it. Because I couldn't believe that on lots of different opinions, like it wasn't even the opinions that were being shared, it was the words with which those opinions were being shared. And I struggled with it so much, and it was wonderful that he pointed us in directions where we could find other clue ones that he was okay with. And these other people got to, you know, had people praising them about how creative they were. And so having a clue one that wasn't designed by him, I was then like, okay, is this even an MCAL anymore? Like, I really struggled with it. And I know that I said I wouldn't get into it, and I'm trying not to get into the project. It was just the emotional bit that it took on me, which is ridiculous because I'm not that person. It's just not it's not my go-to, and it makes me incredibly uncomfortable to be that. And so I am currently, because I did continue, I do have a shawl that I'm working on. I am using his clue 2, 3, and 4. I am on row 5 of my dip 5 stitches. I have a lot of yarn still that I can go through. So it will be a big shawl, but it's not something I have any intention of sharing or probably talking about after this installment. So I do hope you guys can understand, and I'm sorry if this was awkward to watch. This is the second or third time I've recorded this portion because I just don't know that I can get it right. But I am glad that I made the decision not to do a whole installment based on this project. Ugh. Okay, moving forward, back to the first take of this installment. So, sorry, that was a lot for very, very little. But I do have my final WIP to share with you guys. And this WIP was an afterthought. This was Shop Small Saturday. I was at our yarn shop. Erica and her husband and the staff and just this community is such a fantastic, she's just made this such a fantastic shop, and it was wonderful and it was enjoyable. And the doors were opened at 9, and I got there about 8 o'clock and was helping with a few small things. And I mean, when we opened at 9, there was a line down the sidewalk, through the driveway, all the way out to the sidewalk. And that's so exciting for her and her small business. And we were all just super excited for her because it was amazing. And people came and they shopped and they supported her business. And then they sat and they knit a lot. And it was a great time Saturday. So as I was perusing all of the things in the shop, this pamphlet, I say pamphlet, it's 2 pages, was up on the wall. And so there's the top, and I will get into it quite a bit here. And on the back of it, it shows the back. So for me, look at those sleeves. I love a good sleeve. And then look at the shoulder detail. So this is called the Madie sweater. It is by Claudia Wersing, and it is part of the Queensland collection. So there's that. That's what it's called. So I saw this on a rack on the wall, and I was like, oh my gosh, that looks like such a nice sweater. And I kind of walked away from it because I've got no business casting on projects. I don't. And my friend was standing there, a dear friend was standing there, who's always full of encouragement. And she's like, oh, that is nice. And she went and she looked at it, and then, you know, the yarn that it calls for, which is also the Queensland collection, it's called Kathmandu Fingering. And all these different colors were sitting there with the desired yarn for the pattern. And she's like, oh, what color would you do? I would do this color. We should do this together. Okay, that's all she needed to say. We should do this together. Okay, let's do that. That seems like a really great idea. And so we both scooped up the yarns we needed and came home. Well, we sat and knit at the shop for a while longer. And we were like, okay, well, we'll cast on Monday, and that's what we'll do. Well, I couldn't wait. And she didn't either. She said she was going to cast on Sunday night. I did check with her, but it calls for US 6 needle size. It asks for a 16 inch, a 32 or 40 inch, as well as DPNs. So I have an embarrassing amount of needles, and I'm sure there's people out there with more. However, it seems obscene to me. And she has lots of needles as well, but all of her US 6s are already in projects. So we went and had lunch, and I handed over a set of my needles, and we were planning on casting on Sunday night. So I did. I cast on Sunday night, and it is a top down, and I got my ribbing done. And then it has you do these little side panels, which is going to go on my shoulder. If you can look at this bit of detail on her shoulder. I don't know if you can see that with the reflection. I'm terribly sorry. So it then has you do both of these bits of things for the shoulder from the neck, from the ribbing of the neck. So I did both of those. And then it has you pick up stitches to do the front, and then I'll end up having to do the back. So this is how far I've gotten. I'm loving it. The color that I went with, see if you can see that. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. It is called Queensland Collection Kathmandu Fingering, and the color is Rapini. I got 4 skeins of it. It is, let's see if I got the label right here. Yep. 85% wool, 10% silk, 5% cashmere. And holy cow, I started to work with it and I was like, oh, it's a little scratchy. But as I started to work more and more with it, it's really not that scratchy. It's pretty nice. But when you look at it, it's calling it a super fine, and it says #1 when it has the little yarn ball here. Can you see that? It says it's a #1 super fine. I don't know if you can see that at all. I'm so sorry. And then here it calls for a US 1 to US 3 needle size, and we're doing this on a 6. So it's going rather quickly. I am thoroughly enjoying it. I don't know how long it's going to take, but I don't want to put it down. I think that's all, you guys. This has been so great. So what can you expect for the rest of the week? So this video will go up on Tuesday. Wednesday, I am planning on putting a tutorial out for that hexie blanket that I showed on installment 15. I showed a crochet hexie blanket if you didn't watch that installment, and I had so many people ask me about that, and I've had people at my local yarn shop want to do a make along with that one. So I figured I would put a tutorial together, because what a great project to start right before Advents. So I figured I'd put a tutorial together for that to go up on Wednesday. And then Thursday is November 30th. And November 30th is whenever we will put our Advent display together, talk about each of the Advents that Anthony and I both got, and talk about some projects that we're doing. And at this point, I have a good idea of what I'm doing with my Advents, but I also am a realist, and I recognize that I'll probably change my mind a few times before then. So yes, that will be up on Thursday with a little intro as to what all to expect from Vlogmas this year. And then Friday is the day today we get to start opening all the things. So I'm excited. I hope you guys enjoyed this mini series. I'm super excited to be back. I'm sorry. I'm terribly sorry if you're missing Anthony. He will be back. He's just taken a break from knitting at the moment and focusing on some other things that he's really excited about in his life, which is wonderful. So that's it. That's all I got. And I hope you're all doing amazing. And I'll see you soon. Bye.